Welcome back to Beards and Brews. Hey, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe or follow no matter where you're listening. Not only does it help us out, but you'll know exactly when we have another one brewing. And you know what that is? We are still going through our month-long Jean-Claude Van Damme-uary. That's right, last time we took a nice single look at Double Team. And fellas, what'd you think of Hard Target?
Also known as Surviving the Damn Game. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how many POV shots of crossbow bolts we can get spiraling like some Tom Brady fucking touchdown pass, but bring them on.
Yeah, so this is another Jean-Claude Van Damme film. This one features Lance Henriksen, directed by John Woo. There's also a couple of other names in here. Wilford Brimley, which I didn't know until just before the cast. I just thought that was a Bayou Jerry Garcia. We've got old boy Imhotep, which don't know the actor's name, but I've only got him down as Imhotep. This is kind of stacked.
I just realized that Wilford Brimley just spends the last half of the movie just reeling in the years. I was genuinely surprised by this movie too. Like, this was a treat. This is like the near dark of Jean-Claude Van Damme movies, and it's pretty damn good.
I will never, ever, ever complain about watching an action film where, number one, a man's humor is drier than the desert, and his hair is wetter than the ocean.
Oh my gosh. Did you like that little gumbo curl he had?
Oof. Jean-Claude Van Damme in this is his character's name is Chance Boudreaux. He's supposed to be some kind of a Cajun fellow down in New Orleans. So he's got that, I don't even know what to call it. It's like a Creole mullet.
It was, just call it what it is. Disgusting. In fact, like his attire and his hair, like they could have swapped in like late 80s Seagal and it's the same fucking movie.
You ain't kidding. That hairstyle carried over from this into Time Cop. Yeah, it dried out by then.
Like, it feels like something that you'd see in an instructional video from an early 90s country music line dancing lesson.
Ooh. I kind of understand. Like, just, I guess for a little bit of context, Jean-Claude Van Damme's kind of like your run-of-the-mill, I can probably kill you kind of guy. And he's in New Orleans, and he's a Creole fella. This Belgian man is Creole.
We also get, like, the fact that Lance Henriksen is here, which is such a fucking bonus for me. I love that man. And it's every movie, it seems, he's accompanied by, like, a group of degenerates. He's got Imhotep, he's got the Like Boys, he's got Arnold's stunt double, he's got some not Larry Fishburne looking guy.
Uh-oh.
I'm really glad you put the nail on the head about Lance Henriksen always just having a group of degenerates around him. I swear to God, his agent has the treasure trove of just, like, finding roles where he's either the leader of a shitty group or, like, in a blood feud cursed family.
I think his agent probably hates him for some reason. Did Lance Henriksen, like, fuck his agent's wife or something? Because, man, I see him on screen, and I see him act. He does not deserve to be this pissed off all the time. And he's a good actor. He can do better than Hard Target from 1993. He deserves better than, no offense, he deserves better than Pumpkinhead. He's a good fucking actor.
Hey, he crushed it in Pumpkinhead. And
he
crushed
did.
it in this film, okay? He's got some damn one-liners in here that will blow your mind.
He does, no doubt. You are a fucking buffalo.
That one.
Oh, yeah. What does that mean? What the fuck does that mean? Is that some Manifest Destiny fucking shot? I don't know.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
No, it's not. It
gets the people going.
So truly enjoy whenever he's fucking with the fat dude whose ear gets chopped off. He's like, I'm so sorry. He goes, well, goddamn, look at you, careless, stupid, and sorry too. It's like,
Lance Henriksen deserves better.
Well, before he walked out, Imhotep will just be like, hey, fat guy, I cut off your ear. Next time I'm going to cut off a steak.
Is it just me, or is Imhotep... I mean, he is in every movie that I've seen him in, which is now 3. But Imhotep is looking mighty horny this whole movie, and I don't know why.
He's got the murder boner. That's all he does in this movie. Yeah.
But then when it gets tough, when he has a challenge, he's like, you know, we could just go to Mexico, be there in like 5 hours. We don't even need to worry about this Cajun Boudreaux fella. We could watch reruns of Emerald from the hotel.
these are truths, but at the same time, think about this. If you were high-skilled killer and you've been killing and just cashing checks for years, having a good old time, then suddenly someone's like, oh man, this dude might fuck me up. I've been slacking. Nah, dude, I'm good. You know what I mean? Like, he said it himself. He's like, nah, I'm good. I'll shoot him from the chopper. I don't give a fuck.
Lance wants him to kill. Imhotep wants to kiss.
Oh. You'll kill him from the ground like a real man.
He's just like, all right.
Okay, so let's get this movie set. We start out with a little bit of a prologue. We basically see this guy, he looks like Mick Foley to me. Thought he was Mick Foley, honestly. But he's just being chased by a large group of men. They've got dirt bikes, they've got rifle, they've got like this arrow shooting rifle. There's probably a name for that.
Sure.
But they're all just chasing him down, and we find out if he gets to the river, then he's won. Whatever that means.
It's legitimately, you brought it up, Brady, the most dangerous damn game. Like, this prologue is practically verbatim the exact prologue from the most dangerous game with Gary Busey and all the fun people.
Well, it's a shame that they had to kill the lead singer of Alabama, but they were in a hurry to get things done.
I know they were trying to make him seem like a hard ass. Like, this dude takes like 4 arrows. And something, like a bunch of other stuff. Cool guy, but like, he was lit up so enthusiastically by these arrows. I just kept thinking like, 3 darts is too much. And he just like starts limping along and shit.
It's in the bone. It's in the bone.
These are not just normal, like, arrows. These are like, Brady, is there a name for this specific type of arrow? It's like dudded blade or something like that? This is a special arrow, right?
Yeah, so that is a broadhead on that, a 3-bladed broadhead at that.
Ooh.
And what makes it so special to me is the shaft of the arrow is basically like the same size that you would see of a piece of like copper piping in the wall for a faucet. It's fucking huge.
I thought they were pretty impressive because, like, not only did they go through pretty much fucking everything, but they managed to go through a set of dog tags without leaving any mark of the arrowhead, just the fucking width of the shaft.
All right, this is where I have my one and only complaint in the movie. He has to make it to the river. He's running, the dock breaks, and he's hanging there above the river. Let go.
Yeah.
You win. And he's like, no, must do pull up.
Oh, man.
You're there.
They were treating him so poorly at this part of the movie, I swear to fuck, I thought the waters were, like, shark-infested.
Oh,
just, like,
sweet.
This guy in particular, because he's got shot like crazy. He busted his face when he fell through the, I don't know, like a pitfall trap? This is an Indiana Jones course, I guess.
So you're telling me this is set in New Orleans, Louisiana, and we're not going to show one single piece of gator-infested waters? Perfect shot right there.
Some bitch. Now, he gets got, of course, and this is where we get introduced to our damsel in distress and the fucking mullet man himself, JCVD, in all of his God-blessed Canadian tuxedo, duster-wearing glory.
They tried to hide the Belgian as much as possible. They got the mullet, the duster, the cowboy boots. Unfortunately, for the next, I don't know, hour and a half, he talks.
And he's just a talking waffle.
It's like, okay, I understand. Early Jean-Claude Van Damme, his English probably wasn't the best. You gotta work around it. You gotta dub it. You gotta do something. Turning him Creole is the funniest fucking thing I could think of.
They won't know the difference. Belgian, fucking Flanders, Creole, whatever. Just, it's not English.
I'll tell you what was American, though, was that swampy-ass blues guitar they had playing.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta have it. You're in the deep south, so when you're busy kicking the shit out of people, you gotta listen to some sweet tunes, get you all jazzed about it.
Dude, kick the shit out of people he does. He unsheaths his leg like the high-powered cannon that it is.
You mentioned damsel in distress. This is Natalie. This is the gentleman who just got Got's daughter. She's arrived in town looking for her dad because she's not received any letters from him for 3 weeks, and he's homeless, so that has her worried. So she's just poking around to like soup kitchens and homeless shelters, places like that, just to see where he might have gotten himself to.
I really enjoyed how heavy-handed this was. You know, this damsel in distress. She rolls into town looking for her dad. She's naive as fuck, and she just rolls into this, I guess, diner of degenerates, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And the moment I see the short, fat guy from American Pickers, I'm like, she's about to get fucked up. That's all she's here for. She's about to get, like, raped or something awful.
Hey, you got an SO oil sign in that car?
I collect cans.
This is a good can. You got a good can on you.
Oh, double entendre there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that lady, the damsel in distress, whenever I was watching Lake Placid 4 and I saw her, I went, oh man, that's the chick from Hard Target.
Fucking hell.
Then whenever I was rewatching Hard Target, I went, oh man, that's the chick from Lake Placid 4.
Yeah. That's the pedigree we're running. I like, fuck her car, that awful Camaro. Like, it's just shitty. Like, more shitty than it should. It's like legitimately like Trailer Park Boy shitmobile. And she's like rolling around in this thing like nothing's wrong. She's in this car so often. Shortly after this scene, like she rolls up to a dock where they like have like some kind of like job competition. Everybody there is on foot. Everybody there knows there's not a lot of room. She rolls up in her Camaro. 10 out of 10.
I feel like this was really supposed to be an impressive vehicle back in 1993, though. And she's coming in from out of town, so they probably think she's from like LA or somewhere fancy.
If it's supposed to be nice, Jean-Claude Van Damme beats up the 4 dudes, including his own stunt double, on top of it.
Sorry, I forgot you weren't supposed to be on screen.
He got a little too close to the heel.
Yeah.
Just grabbed him up.
So after this mugging is deterred, Homegirl goes down to file a missing persons report, as you do. And man, this detective, I know she turns into kind of like a good guy, one of the crew or whatever. She sucks at her job.
Listen, man, it's her birthday. She's got 1 candle, and she's getting too old for this shit.
I guess.
Like, I think everybody's attitude in this particular scene just seems not applicable to this scene. It just makes no sense.
Like, you're right, because she, like Natalie, should be pushing back a little bit more. Like, hey, I'm here to file a missing persons report. And she's just like, can't you just catch me tomorrow? What you want me to do? Usually, when someone is missing, they're missing from somewhere. Your dad's homeless. Sorry, nobody cares.
Got him!
Find somebody to show you around town, and don't go flashing your wallet around no more, Miss Lady. So, but I'll see what I can do, which is nothing.
Don't flash your wallet around. She literally just walked into a place and almost got.
Yeah.
Whipping out all those tins.
She had $13 or something.
Ooh, let me get them hammies.
Yeah.
But who does she get to lead her around? Why? It's Jean-Claude Van Damme himself trying to get put down at the dock as an able seaman, and I just had like an epiphany watching this time. I was just sitting there, I was like, huh, Johnny used to work at the dock.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think it's like the movie's idea of trying to like humanize Jean-Claude, because he literally just like whipped ass a little too efficiently to be a normal person, so you gotta like knock him down a peg. He rolls up there, he's like, man, I need a job. And the guy's like, man, you literally fucking kicked a dude in half last time. I don't know.
Well, I guess his history is he used to be a merchant marine, but his captain was trying to import some opium, so he threw him off the ship or something, and now he owes $217 to his union dues, because it costs $217 every time you throw a captain off the ship. So he's he's got to do something to make some money.
That's such an arbitrary amount. Like, his question of like, how am I supposed to make money if I can't work? I'm like, that's a legitimate fucking question, man. Like, it's only $200.
That's how they get you.
You think about that though. That's got to add up, because he ain't taking no shit, and that fee is like $190 for tossing the captain, and then the rest of it, that $27, is just tax. That's just tax.
Should have just stole the opium and sold it, right? Right? That's the
union dues.
That's the businessman's way to do it.
Maybe he accidentally touched one of the sody pops in the little fridge.
Oh,
the mini fridge.
That's hands off.
Yeah.
All hands off stick. But then the guy's like, yeah, fuck off. He's like, you can't work here. Get out of here. He just turned down the old girl's offer of like $100 a day in 1993, which is probably like $4 million.
Yeah, something like that. But he's like, hey, I'll tell you what, you got 2 days before your ship sails. You race it in 2 days, you're all good.
Never brought up again.
Never once. But it is a way to get him, thirsty for some cash real quick. Maybe he'll show old girl around for a couple days. We'll go down to the soup kitchen, talk to the same old black veteran that she talked to yesterday. But this time, he's got information.
Now, Chandler, this gentleman in particular, I feel like he falls under some kind of like theatrical term.
He is not magical.
As soon as I saw this guy, I was just like, oh man, he's toast. He's too nice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's such a nice guy. He's such an important figure of the community. I'm like, this guy is getting it the worst. What's going to happen?
He is not magical, but he does somehow point them directly to his shopping cart, old dad's shopping cart, which had like all of his belongings in it, and none of it had been stolen somehow.
Yeah, how's that not magical? That cop was literally like, fuck you,
True.
He's homeless, nobody gives a shit. Walks 2 blocks down the road like, oh yeah, he just lived over here, here's all his stuff, birth certificate. Oh yeah, his corpse too, I don't know.
True.
Look, O.J. Simpson has one of the best scenes in this film, and
Yeah, he is homeless, he cannot afford gloves regardless of whether they fit.
you must have quit. So, spoilers. I was blown away, and so was the statue. The scene whenever they hunt him, of course, and he hides behind an angel face statue, and they blow it up, and his face is there with that zoinks look. And I went, is this something out of the Naked Gun?
As you guys mentioned, like, I almost felt like O.J. Simpson's about to like put his hand in a cake and fall off a boat. Yeah.
Like, the thing with this movie is it takes itself seriously, but maybe not that seriously sometimes. It's not that seriously when it's convenient.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of like the whole movie. Like, it's John Woo, he's got his style, but I think this is like his first American picture, so it has this like weird feeling of a movie already trying to be an American action picture, but now it is an American action picture, but he's like super set in his own little style. So being what it is, it doesn't have to try to achieve anything, but it still does.
So I'm pretty unfamiliar with John Woo's catalog, especially his pre-American catalog. Did he use a lot of doves then?
Yeah, that's like that's the signature. Like,
okay, that's what I thought.
About to go down, slow motion, doves, and then a really fucking loud gunfight.
Okay, well, that's what I thought. Well, this is America. We don't have doves. We got pigeons.
Hell yeah.
Jesus, man. The amount of pigeons that you get to see in here is... there are, like, lighter colored pigeons. He's got them bright blue bitches with the fucking iridescent wings flying around. You're like, all right, man, damn, that's clearly a pigeon.
Well, hell, maybe that's what it is. It feels like John Woo made, like, a John Woo light movie. You know, you like couldn't get doves, you got pigeons.
Doves ain't in the budget.
What'd they spend it on? Where'd it go?
The explosion.
Somebody get Larry Fishburne again.
Oh no, he's the cowboy, right? Ah, fuck.
If we're talking about like the accents that are kind of all over the place here, I know we're gonna get to one. Ooh, we are gonna get to one. But I want to talk about this lady detective. Most of the time, she is talking like a, Midwestern, no accent at all. But every once in a while, she'll talk to somebody and she goes straight mumbo gumbo.
That is okay. I know that you said we'll get to it. That is Wilford Brimley's accent to a T. Yeah. He is mumbo gumbo. Chandler.
Mostly mumbo, yeah.
But here in a little bit, when she has to talk to the medical examiner, I feel like she's like on a plantation down there. This is from True Detective.
Look, it's probably just like she's certainly not from the area, but there are some times where you just have to like use the accent, right? Just to kind of blend in. I think that's what it was.
Is that what it is?
Unfortunately for her character, the movie realized way too early how worthless she was. It was like this like impending doom feeling, like immediately, like the gentleman from the community center.
We got nothing to do with her through the last third. But how we get there is actually they see some flyers in old dad's cart. These flyers lead them to this the fat smarmy guy I referred to, who's like, I don't know nobody. I don't recognize faces and names or social security numbers. I don't know. And then that's when we see Imhotep show up and, he's looking way too sexy. There's something going on between him and Fat Man.
I was going to bring it up. I thought about it when I was watching it. Like, since there is a Mummy cast member, by default, the movie's sexiness has gone up.
Oh, like a full, 1.5 points for sure.
I just think that he was for real, abusing this guy. He was
yeah.
like, I'm in the Mummy. I get to hit you. And the guy's like, oh, all right. Because he
I get to hit you.
That's so hard. He's just like, karate chop. And the guy's like, oh, hit my fans.
Oh, listen, man.
So are we to believe that he gets sexual gratification from torturing this fat man?
Blood nothing.
100%. That karate chop that Brady just brought up was literally out of pocket. Nobody in the room saw that coming. He comes in, he's like, Kia! And he just drops one on him.
From that point on, Jean-Claude Van Damme gets a little suspicious, thinks dad was murdered instead of whatever they said. He got burned up in a building or something, some bullshit. So Jean-Claude goes to investigate. The house is still smoldering, by the way.
3 weeks smolder.
Yeah.
Did you like how Jean-Claude Van Damme, who is not even a cop, he's not anything anymore. He's just like the longshoreman with a certain set of skills. He just rolls in and starts sifting through stuff with his fucking bare hands.
But to be fair, he does get arrested for that. He gets beaten up and then arrested, and that's how he gets back to Lady Detective again, who's like, what were you doing, dumbass? And he's like, he was murdered. You should do an autopsy.
Think about this. He gets arrested for being in the crime scene, all right? After getting his ass beat at a crime scene, number one.
Right.
Number two, he is later in another crime scene and no one seems to give a shit.
No.
So what the fuck? There's no consistency at crime scenes.
He gets invited to the bag zip-up of the black guy.
Right. So the only thing that I can think of is he let himself get his ass kicked so he can get a ride back to the station.
That's it. Didn't want to walk.
Convenient.
Needs to point his titties north.
Yeah.
That fucking line. Okay.
That in particular baddie is so ridiculous with his little tiny red shirt, his little denim vest, and his big attitude. He's like, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, that guy's something. In fact, all the guys in the hunting crew kind of had personalities that were just kind of brushed over or whatever. So Lance Hendrickson, he just controls this little group of mercenaries or whatever, and their whole shtick is that they offer the service of hunting people. They capture a guy, they get him all fucked up, and they start shooting arrows at him and whatnot, all for the goofs and gaffs.
Yeah, so I guess they have clients that pay $500,000 to potentially hunt a live man. I guess former military veterans, people that have means to fight back, I guess. And if these veterans who are since down on their luck and usually homeless, if they make it to the river, they win $10,000.
Right.
Seems like an okay deal, right?
Wrong.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Love it.
The biggest difference, and I'm not shitting on Hard Target at all, but I think the big difference is there's no moment in between at all of the game. They're like, oh, we'll give you a 5-minute head start. You get out there, sport. No, they're right fucking on him immediately, surrounded by dudes with motorcycles. There's no shot.
There's no buttered sausages either.
Oh, jeez. Prince Henry Stout. I had to break his
no Prince.
Yeah. Needs more Busey.
To your point, Eric, they don't get any type of head start at all, and there is no fairness. This is rich guy on safari. What did you do? Oh, they gave me an extremely high-powered rifle and then pointed me at those lions laying in the shade during midday heat.
Yeah. This game is basically being carried up Mount Everest by a Sherpa.
Yeah. I mean, if you got the money, why risk it, right? Take your glory.
Lance has an amazing line based on this. So during the second hunt, while they're hunting OJ, the guy wounds him, and he won't finish him. And so, the fella runs away. And he's like, Jesus Christ, why couldn't you just go fishing? You know what I mean? It's just like, yes. Not only is it a poignant moment, but it's such like a true observation. Like, if you wanted to feel alive, man, but you ain't got the balls for this, why didn't you go fucking fishing?
I guess so. Like, I don't know if there's like a little bit of dichotomy there, but like, you can't like offer the service and then like start shitting on them when you're outside with them. Hell, like he even killed one of them. Whatever.
That's part of the service.
Stay fit, keep sharp, make good decisions.
Yeah, so this is supposed to be the last hunt, I guess, because medical investigator who was in on it, he's like burning all the records and was like, hey, you're getting somebody is snooping, this Jean-Claude Van Damme guy snooping.
Did you like that little scene that they had? You know, Lance Henriksen just helps himself in the place, and the guy's like, all right, man, I haven't done anything wrong. You know, I got information you're probably here to ask for anyways, and he starts spilling it out. Lance Henriksen just like softly puts his hand on like a letter opener or something, and he just casually pretends to knock it off the desk, and going through this whole spiel, just getting this guy to piss his pants.
I just thought he was waiting for him to turn over so he could give him the, you know.
Do tell.
The happy ending.
Well, I mean, if it's coming from this movie, the happy ending is just like literally credits sliding across the screen. It's just over.
By the way, since we're on the subject, is it just me or does every business in New Orleans, at least every business shown here, look like it could or should be the front for a brothel?
Well, I mean, the sign for this particular place said Kiki and her Wonder Feet.
Whoa.
What is this, a Quentin Tarantino picture?
Eric, we kind of brushed over it, but O.J. Simpson has a moment where he's trying to get people to help him and they won't. And you brought up maybe an award nominated, maybe even won some type of award film starring Willem Dafoe, where Willem Dafoe died in a very similar manner to O.J. here in this scene.
Oh man, I was going to bring up that exact same scene, just talking about somebody else.
It's actually one of the best scenes in the movie. It definitely conveys like disinterest or whatever in the public eye. Like, our guy, he's all shot up. Good old OJ, not looking so good for him. And he's just stumbling about the French Quarter, just asking for help, clearly a shot man. And people are just like, whoa, you're looking kind of smelly, fella. I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
Please call a paramedic. Please call an ambulance. No, I don't have any fucking change. All right.
Nowhere to mention change.
No.
Yeah. And to top it all off, it ends with this guy in the middle of the French Quarter, the most famous spot in New Orleans. Wiggly hand gesture. He gets taken out by a firing squad in the middle of public. And everyone's just like, sucks to be that guy.
Yeah, people see him and just walk right by and like, fuck, I need another SoCo.
Like, I gotta get out of the way of this gunfire. I got a couple brothels to hit before I go home to my brothel.
These are facts. And this is like a trend throughout the entire movie. The streets are either completely empty, but if someone's on them, then it's only the bad guys and the main, protagonists. Because 10 seconds later, our boy Tubby that got kung fu chopped earlier by Imhotep is getting picked on again by Imhotep. This time, he gets executed with a shotgun in one of the most visceral fucking scenes. It's amazing.
I was actually kind of fucking impressed and maybe even a little shocked that the movie did that.
Yeah.
He just blew that guy's head clean off. I was like, fuck, all right.
Shotgun blast where you see like all the visceral bits come through the windshield. Ugh.
Yeah, I was getting bathtub vibes from Leon.
Oh.
Where it blows the back out. That's such a fucking scene.
I don't think he deserved... No, he did not deserve that.
I don't think he's missing his earlobe anymore. I think his earlobe is missing the rest of him now.
Imhotep, much like Shredder, came back to finish what he started with his ego.
So it's in this spot that they're like, all right, this detective's got to drop somehow. So there's a little bit of a shootout. Jean-Claude Van Damme does his Jean-Claude Van Damme stuff, but detective gets shot.
Yeah, it's pretty clumsy. I'm going to put that out there. Like the action in this movie is pretty good. I as a whole, I can say this is a good movie. This scene, the action here is so... I don't know. It lost itself. A little all over the place, and somewhere what's-her-name died. That's what it feels like.
Well, it feels like the action is on fast forward because they're like, we need to get these people to next area because we've run out of plot and time to film in the French Quarter. We got to get them in the bayou, and now.
We figured out how this movie ends. We just don't know how to get there. So give Jean-Claude Van Damme a dirt bike, even though he mentioned earlier in the movie he does not have a driver's license. Give him a dirt bike. Have him jump off a bridge onto a train. We're out of here. We're into the bayou, baby.
That was easy.
Well, it propels him to the front of the investigation. He's like, oh man, cop lady, I'm sorry you got killed just now. I'm going to do the right thing, Scout's honor.
Oh, and what I've got here today for you. This is Stout's honor. Looks like a glass of root beer or something. It's dark. It's not as sweet as I expected from being called a s'more stout, but there's a little bit of that graham cracker, maybe a little bit of cocoa, like dark cocoa, but I don't really get a whole lot of like marshmallow or anything like that. This is a stout at its heart. It's just a little bit less sweet than what I was expecting or hoping for. It's not bad though.
Well, hey, speaking of not bad, have any of you guys owned a dirt bike?
I've not. I grew up in the city part of West Virginia, not the country part.
I also have never been on a dirt bike, but I will say dirt bikes have not looked this cool since The Running Man.
Oh.
There it is. Yeah, this movie tries really hard to make dirt bikes look cool, even though there's a ceiling to dirt bikes and this whole movie exists under it. We got Jean-Claude Van Damme sailing a dirt bike toward a Hummer full of baddies.
Now, if this scene was, let's say, a Harley Davidson, or even like an Indian motorcycle, Victory, something like that, a nice American-made motorcycle, does he look much cooler in this scene?
Just based on the movie Stone Cold, Brian Bosworth would have looked ridiculous on a dirt bike.
Yeah, I think if this is a nice Indian motorcycle, this scene is way cooler.
Maybe. But let me reiterate, like, if it were like an Indian or a Victory, Jean-Claude Van Damme would still surf the fucking thing and take out a bunch of people. I'm pretty sure there's only two ways this scene could have ended. Like him taking out all the baddies, or he would eventually go off a ramp over a bunch of sharks.
Yeah, he technically jumps a truck. Now, it's a Bronco. I don't know if that's considered a shark of any maybe that's a land shark.
What happened to OJ?
Oh, the gators got him.
Yeah, no. But Jean-Claude jumps this dirt bike through the fire and the flames, and we end up on jumping into a pile of definitely cardboard boxes and styrofoam in this train.
Yeah.
Right. Unfortunately, the shipment of cardboard boxes was passing through town, and Jean-Claude Van Damme and love interest, wiggly hand gesture, they get out of Dodge.
We don't know where this is going. We just end up in Wiggly Hand, the Bayou.
Right.
And the only thing noteworthy about this is this whole rattlesnake thing to me.
Oh, yes. Listen, I feel like this movie has a few tent poles that were suggested at the very beginning of production. The only reason why it's not Steven Seagal and it is Jean-Claude is because they let him punch that fucking snake.
Just the way this puppet snake looks and reacts to his strike is 10 out of 10 on top of 10, because I don't know if it's a euphemism for like him fighting his sexual arousal or what, because he's leaning in for the kiss on the babe, and you're like, okay, there's a kiss, and then the snake puppet's there and he's like, Kia! And it goes limp. Ha!
He goes on and says something like, yeah, you gotta do this, or now he's, dude, what? That's not how this scene should have happened. Like at all. No. This was totally his idea. I want to punch it, and then I have to bite it. Well, the fact that he didn't kick it in half is a little bit of a missed opportunity.
True. So I guess he somehow attaches this rattlesnake to the tree, and it's a trap for one of the bad guy goons. I don't know how he expected that a goon would walk specifically up to this tree and all of the bayou, but that's how he gets him. Snakes in a tree.
They were tracking his mud footprints.
Well, he knows that NPCs follow a little track. They just go in circles.
Okay. That's a good point.
Leads to another great line from Lance, where the lackey gets bit on the face and he falls down, writhing in more pain than Macho Man when Jake the Snake let that cobra bite him. And Lance is so pissed at the incompetence after he shoots him, he asks the rest of the lackeys to kindly die quietly next time.
If you would die quieter and pick up the pace, Boudreaux would have less time for this kind of bullshit.
I mean, it sounds like a wild request, but I saw some of the fellas taking notes. It's learn day.
Sorry, boss. I'll die quietly next time.
Right.
All of this gives Jean-Claude the chance to get deeper into the bayou to his old uncle. His moonshine still is what I got. I don't even know if this is a home.
Like, everything's wrong about this casting. Wilford Brimley's stellar face to see in this movie, you know, like, my eyes widen, I'm like, holy shit. But no one directed this man. Not a single thing. He just walked on screen and just mumbled some shit.
I did not know this was Wilford Brimley. I had this in my notes as Jerry Garcia.
Dude, I love that you didn't recognize him, but I also love that you just named him Uncle.
Yeah.
He's got a name, but it doesn't matter. It's something French and kid.
This motherfucker just reaches up, Uncle.
Yeah.
And hands chrome shoddy. Like, what? Here's a horse and some shotgun shells. Get her done.
That's actually, you know what? That's actually all he's there to facilitate. Is just like give them the transportation and supplies. The fact that he tags along is the bonus.
You still got that 30-06, Unc? No, but I got him this shotgun.
I kind of wish he pulled that shotgun out of his overalls.
My God. Yes.
Because like the man is like 3'4". So he just dragged that whole fucking thing out.
Eric, it's his crutch.
That's it. He's got like an old-timey like Creole voodoo crutch that he found or whatever. And it's actually like a mystical shotgun. I love it.
I mean, you're not wrong. Because the shotgun goes from shooting regular shells to explosive shells later, just at, I guess, JCVD's whim. Because it's like, boom, and the guy's fine. And then he goes, boom, and everything explodes. And he's not even shooting explodey stuff.
It's one of those canes from Dread. You know, like explosive bullets or some shit.
Oh, man.
High X.
Dread was so fucking good. Y'all should go back and listen to that cast. That's a good movie. So there's a little bit of a shootout right here at old Uncle's Moonshine still. But basically it just gives Jean-Claude an opportunity to get away. After this, we also see Uncle ride off on a very uncomfortable horse. This was the angry horse.
Only thing angrier in either this scene or the last one is just Lance Hendrickson. He rolls up on Creole Grandpa's house or whatever. They eviscerate it. They blow it up. But, like, he's already pissed at something, and he's a little too close to that fucking explosion. And let me tell you, when it goes off and he turns towards the camera, he is livid.
There is not a lot of times where looking into the hard camera gets to stay in, but seeing the explosion happen and then watching Lance truly, from the force of the shockwave, stumble forward and then look up at the camera with nothing but like, what the fuck are y'all doing on his face?
It gives hard Roy Scheider vibe when the shark pops up and he's just like, oh.
Dude. Yeah. And the icing on the cake, he's got to spend the next 3 days with Jean-Claude Van Damme getting the shit kicked out of him.
Oh my God.
And you can tell he's just pissed off at him the whole time. Like, this fucking Dutch asshole.
God damn you. He just fucking spin kicks him again and again.
Well, let's talk about it. Like, this all leads to that, like, alright, this movie was made in a time where every action picture just had to end in a warehouse somewhere full of shit.
Sure.
Yep.
It could be machinery, it could be some schmelting things, whatever you got going on.
It could be Mardi Gras floats, and it ends up looking like the end of Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Ooh, also a great movie and show. Check it out.
But we just have a bunch of chaos here. This looks loony, but it's fun.
We get some great kill scenes here. You got Jean-Claude using the reflection in like a dirt biker's helmet to see another guy. So he takes it up, flips it upside down, unloads the magazine into Arnold Schwarzenegger's body double, and then he's like, sorry about
my muscles are from Brussels.
But right around this area is where Imhotep starts to have some second thoughts. He's like, man, I'm not having a good time anymore. Lance, we could pick all this up. We got lots of money. We could be in Mexico in like 5 hours, dog.
Yeah, like this whole movie, he executes his orders lustfully for Lance Hendrickson, and right when he's about to get his bell rung, he's like, can't beat him, join him.
He even sort of like, once he gets filled full of lead, in that scene, like we're not quite there yet, but we're basically there yet. We've got 2 final showdowns. Imhotep gets filled full of lead after this glass window scene, and after taking 20 rounds, he's just like, Here, take a grenade. You'll need it later.
Yeah, you know, he dropped some loot. It wasn't a lot, but it was pretty good.
Yeah.
It's what you needed. But there's a whole lot of just random stuff going on right here. Like when Jean-Claude, like, steals one of the guy's pistols and for some reason decides to fire 12 rounds upside down. You could just turn it right side up.
I didn't do fucking shit!
Well, that's effort. In the moment he would have taken to turn the gun right way up, the other guy would have had him in a chokehold.
Bingo.
I don't know. I'm trying to put logic into it, because like, after he blows these dudes away, including Imhotep, unfortunately, the sexiness level has dropped. The rest of the fight scene is just like Jean-Claude Van Damme's foot glued to Lance Henderson's face.
Oh my god.
Uncle and lady friend show up. Lady friend doesn't do much. Like, she takes a gun at one point, but Uncle's just like, no, let me have that. You no shoot no bad guy. I shoot the bad guy.
Oh.
And then he starts with his bow and arrow. He also has these whatever kind of arrows that you were talking about. So
They're regular arrows that Wilford Brimley has, but not Larry Fishburne. He's got that crossbow, whatever the gun. He shoots one at Van Damme, who's just, 5 feet away but can dodge it.
Yeah.
He zips out of the way and spin kicks his sunglasses off. And it's one of those kicks, much like the ones that Lance takes later. I will say that this guy takes it way better than Lance, because I'm pretty sure Lance didn't like having a boot to his face. But this guy takes it just like Bolo in Bloodsport, with the whole head whipping and the blood spraying out. It's a hell of a kick.
Like, the whole back third of this movie, great stunts, great action, good pyro.
Dude, Lance flexes his acting chops, showing his pure hatred,
Right.
while JCVD flexes his actual biceps.
yes, he does. And Wilford Brimley flexes all the points that he put into archery.
I made this myself.
Yeah. I mean, he tries his best. He picks off some goons. He helps out. He fights the good fight. But Jean-Claude Van Damme's busy just, like, voguing. And Lance Hendrickson's just trying to, like, talk him out of the whole situation, because he's fed the fuck up.
Let me take my shirt off so that you can see my glistening muscles. Hold on. Let someone get in here to spray me down one more time.
Hey, Lance Hendrickson, can you take a guess where these muscles are from?
The whole time he's just like, God damn you.
God damn you.
He gets his revenge by making his lady interest sexy load his gun. He's like, oh yeah, I'm going to open up the chamber and you're going to drop that shell in it. I'm going to shoot your man. Dangle it fragilely right above the hole. Oh yeah.
Load me.
Man.
Load me.
Right. Man, he knows how to turn on the gross.
Yeah.
He fucking jump kicks him in what has got to be one of the most beautiful moments you're ever going to see in an action film. And Lance gets a grenade stuffed down his pants. This is the first time and the only time I've ever seen in a movie where the bad guy has, like, kind of a brain. He grabs the grenade. He takes and unscrews the grenade, which I'm sure you probably couldn't do by hand, and pulls the fuse away from the powder, but only so far. And he's like, ha ha! And then you see the spark, and he goes, oh! Yeah! So good! It's so good!
That scene does not belong in this movie, but it's incredible. Like, you have the big bad, like, the guy, and his last words are, whoop! Like, I just bumped into somebody at the grocery store.
Yes. Nice.
During all this hubbub, old Uncle Jambalaya takes an arrow to the chest, and luckily we find out that he is an alcoholic. He keeps that thing on him. And by thing, I mean his flask, and that saved his life.
I think the movie just couldn't do it. I think Wilford Brimley is just like a really cool guy, and like, yeah, we're not going to kill you off, man. Stay the extra couple of days, we'll pay you. We'll pay you full thing. And then he's like, "Oh, thank you, John."
That way, you won't have to make it yourself. You can go out and buy the whiskey.
Trying to just make a deal.
Now pull me to the craft service table.
But it's just craft singles. He doesn't understand.
But he's happy with it. That's the difference. He's like,
The reason that we were here is old girl's dad, and we forgot about him.
Yes.
Yeah.
They can ride off in the sunset and be happy together because they blew a man up.
Well, they're all three riding to the sunset on one horse, the one that uncle came in on, because the one that Jean-Claude came in on, that horse took a thump. Like, I guess it got shot at some point, and man, I wanted to lay some respect on the acting ability of this particular horse, because man, it goes down dramatically. That's what I was going to compare Willem Dafoe to in Platoon. He goes down so elegantly, but so dramatically. I want to hear that Chariots of Fire as he goes down. This horse deserves an Oscar.
Oh, see, that's what happens when you put the crunchy peanut butter in his mouth.
Oh, nice. They interview the horse later on, and like, well, what'd you think about the scene? He's like, no, sir, I don't like it.
But I did like the Peter Pan that they put in my mouth.
And the peanut butter.
Yeah.
This is a fucking proper action romp. There's some shit in here where you just go, what? And then there's other things that are going on that you just want to kind of scoot forward on the edge of your couch and just lean in and go, there's no fucking way that he just jumped on a dirt bike. Now he's punching a snake. Now him blowing shit up with a shotgun. And Lance Henriksen exploded after defusing a grenade, and his last words are, oh! You know, like, I don't know. The Minion's Minion, it's got the stuff that I want in this type of movie, so I'm all in.
Calling it a proper movie is, yeah, you know what? That's a good way to put it. Everything is at least well made. It feels pretty well intentioned. I mean, some of the pieces don't move as smoothly as you want them to, but this is bang on, just cheesy action movie. A lot of what the fuck moments that just like have you laughing or just like have you rewinding and watching again. I would recommend it just solely on the fact that it's pure entertainment. Don't take it seriously.
So after Double Team last week, I was kind of not looking forward to the rest of this Jean-Claude Van January or whatever. This is kind of redeeming a little bit. This isn't a great movie by any means, but this is at least a movie. I can respect this. Like, this is entertaining. There's a narrative. There's acting going on, some of it. Yeah, this is fine. I'll take this all day long. It's not amazing. There's action. Yeah, good job.
Well, there you have it. That was Hard Target. If you have any strong feelings about the movie or the show, or if you're Lance Henriksen himself and like to bitch about Jean-Claude Van Damme, leave it in that comment section below.
Make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons. Be sure to bash the bell icon and whatever else you got so you don't miss what we've got brewing up next for you. And if you're feeling fancy, go ahead and visit our Letterboxd account, Beards and Brews. You'll love what you see over there.
Get out there and follow us on the social medias. We got all of it. And Lance, you can find us on YouTube. So give us a shot. We're pretty funny sometimes. And if you don't, you're going to put a little chunk of hula bomb in there. $2.50. 13 minutes.
You like to see homos naked?